It's time for Cats Talk Wednesday. Small town and big city joined forces. Vinny Hardy of Lynch, Kentucky, and Terry Brown of Louisville, Kentucky, team up to give you free-flowing, laid-back sports talk. Focus on Kentucky Wildcats, as well as pertinent information in the NBA, NFL, and Major League Baseball.
And here we are, another episode of Cats Talk Wednesday. Vinny Hardy, Louisville's own Terry Brown in here on another Wednesday evening. What's good, TV? How we doing, man?
Man, I'm doing fantastic. This past weekend, I was able to go back home to Kentucky for the first time since early December, so it was good. Got to see Mama B, got to see Aunt May, got to see the girls, got to eat some things that they don't have here. Got some indies. That's one of those, if you know, you know. Got some sharks, if you know, you know. So got some donuts, got some sugar and spice donuts, which is the spot out in my neck of the woods in Fern Creek. It's where my dad took me when I was a kid. That's where I took the girls. So we got some fresh donuts. So we doing good, man. My batteries are recharged. You know how it is when you go home.
So Mama B is a legend. For y'all that don't know, for y'all that do know, you do know. Y'all seen Mama B on Twitter and Instagram, and some of us got to meet her at when we go to Karen Mills get-togethers in Lexington.
Yeah, absolutely.
So she is precious. Glad you got to see Mama B. Now, Aunt May, whose sister is she? What side of the family is she on?
She's my mom's older sister. She's actually the reason my mom moved from Tennessee to Kentucky. So she fits into my life pretty importantly. Aunt May's husband was in the military, so they were in Fort Knox in the Louisville area. Mom came up to visit, liked it, decided to stay, meets Papa B, and some years later, here's Terry B. So
yeah, absolutely. Now, for the people that don't know, a lot of people do know, like you said, but we got who knows watching on Roku, which we appreciate, part of the BS3 network. Appreciate Ben Sutter putting us in, looping us into the umbrella with so many other podcasts, 25 plus podcasts that are under this network. We're proud to be a part of it. A little promo video I have to play. That way y'all watching can see some of the other podcasts that we're part of, and we're glad to be here. But for those that don't know, tell them what Indies is about, because we those that do know, we know. But for those that don't, we got people.
Indies is a soul food spot, man. And now it's a chain. I remember when it was just one. It was in downtown. But the spot I go to is the one on Popper Level. I've been going. Got the girls on it. They like that spicy food. I get the rib tips. Always get the rib tips. But the girls, we get them either the 2-piece snack box or the 3-piece dinner. So they get that chicken. My youngest gets the her side is mac and cheese. And then my oldest gets mac and cheese plus mashed potatoes and gravy. But they got all the sides. The wedges are always fire. I'm not a spicy person by nature, so even the mild is a little spicy for me. But my dad got me hooked on it. You know how it is when you get a biscuit, you get a roll, you got to sop it up. Y'all know what I'm talking about. You got to sop up them juices with the roll. See, and that's what it's about. So for the first time, I was able to take the missus over there, and she got a shrimp basket and enjoyed that. I didn't know they had shrimp. Now the menu at Indies is incredibly big, but like I said, I just get what I get. I don't venture too far off the, I'm sure it's all good, but that's just how I am. I find something I like at a restaurant, I stick with it. So, but Indies is good. I think there's like 5 locations in Louisville. There's one in Lexington.
Yeah.
But that's been my late night spot.
That's it. Right down, not far from Rupp Arena. You head out towards, is it going towards?
It's on Broadway. I think it's on Broadway, or it was. I don't know what it is. 20 years ago, it was down on Broadway, really close to where the the Legend place.
That's why they're going to Legend Park. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
That
So
way. Sure is.
yeah, but I like I said, I can't speak to Lexington's geography anymore. I noticed a few things have changed in the time that I've been gone from Louisville. I was like, oh, that's new. Oh, that's gone. Oh, there's a red light here now. So I had to pay attention a little bit. So we had a good time. So back and it was a nice thing to do since the Cats were not in the regional final weekend. So
Mhm. And that's of course you got to hit that. But I was going to ask you too, because when you lived in Louisville and it's your home, but then now you come back as a visitor, so it's different. You know, I mean, you were away from home in college, but then you moved back and live in Louisville. But now coming back as a visitor, and you all those years at home, you see people that moved away come back, and now you're one that's moved away coming back. It's a whole different kind of thing. See, even from the little town I'm from, I'm coming back as a visitor now. And the first few times I did that, I'm like, wow. So now you got to go through that.
It's weird because like you said, I going to UK, Lexington to Louisville is only 70, 75 miles, whatever it is. I used to that stretch of 64, I know like the back of my hand, or I did at one point because I was burning that bad boy up, going back and forth. So it was never that far. When I moved back, when I was married the first time, I was only about 4 or 5 miles away from mom and dad, still the same part of town. Then when I got my condo myself, I was 1.6 miles away from the house I grew up in. So literally everything was the same. I was, the same grocery store, the same whatever. And so, I see people and friends on Facebook like yourself that have moved away, got friends. A guy I grew up with, he went to Syracuse for grad school, went to UK, but he's up in Windsor, Canada
Wow.
now. And so I got folks in that I know out in Florida, all over the place. And here I was, like I said, sitting there about 1.6 miles away from the house I grew up with. Just a good quick run. You know. And I never thought I'd move away, but I feel like I made the right decision. The girls are great. Mama B is great. The family's great. I'm doing good here, so it's been a good thing.
That's it. So what did your Kate think about all the spots in Louisville? Had she got all of them before, or you actually
We
really kind of introduced her to the Ville this time?
really introduced. She'd been there a couple of times before, and it was basically to meet family just real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, One time we had lunch with my mom at Red Lobster that was fantastic. And then the pandemic happened, right? So that put a break on everything because we were set to have, my mom was going to come here and her mom was going to go to Kentucky, but the pandemic and our folks are older, and so traveling and with all the they've got some health things as well, so that threw a wrench in everything. But this was kind of the first time I showed her the house I grew up in. I took her to the spot where my brothers are buried. They're side by side. That was something I wanted to do, even though I know they're not there, but it was just something I wanted to do. And so we just kind of hit all kinds of spots. Got to hang out with my friend Jack, who's been on the show before. He's popped on, so we got to hang out with him and his wife, and that was great. Very low key because it started out. I said, "Hey, I'm coming back," and then the phone blows up because everybody wants a little piece, which is fine. I'm glad for that. But I said,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna be back, but this time, got to see Mama B, got to see my aunt, and however I can get it on the schedule with the girls, that's what I'm doing, right? And then everything else kind of filters in after that. But it was a good trip. It's a good trip, 8.5, 9 hours, but it was great to do it with someone else and not be on the road
Right.
solo. Because on the road solo, after about hour 6, that's a wrap, man. That's your body starts, things start blended in, especially going through Iowa, Illinois, and Southern Indiana. It's just ain't nothing to see, man.
Yeah.
But we had a good opportunity. Like I said, got my batteries recharged. My mom made us a big thing of greens. I was able to bring back.
Yeah.
So Mama made some greens, and Now she didn't make them for me. She told him she didn't make. This is not for you. This is for my daughter-in-law. So
Oh well.
yeah.
Yeah, that's she official now. Then
Oh yeah, she in the family now.
Rooting-
Yeah, and my
rooting for
mom
her.
makes these little graham cracker treats. I'm not the biggest fan, but the missus likes them, so that's what Mama B did.
There you go.
And I gotta say, this is how I know that my wife is in. When an older black woman makes you cobbler, made a blackberry.
Oh,
Was it blackberry cobbler cake?
oh,
Blackberry cobbler. We were out running around, came back in, hot,
oh,
fresh out the oven.
see,
Told me to go to the ice cream place and get some ice cream so they could have some for the cobbler. I said, I'm not a big cobbler fan. She said, this ain't for you.
see.
So she's in.
Mhm.
But we had a good old time, man. I tell you, we did.
Checking off all the boxes. Good stuff, man. You
Yeah,
mentioned already. You
yeah.
mentioned already how weird it is because it's the Final Four now, and what 2 weeks ago we were talking about January, February, Kentucky, and how it's just we kind of don't know what to do with ourselves. And this year is even worse than last year because you win your first game, then you lose 6 in a row, and you're 1-6, and you're kind of like, okay, well, this ain't a tournament team. We had all season to accept the fact that last year's team wasn't going to the tournament unless they won the SEC tournament. That's the only way they were going to make it. We already knew
Yeah.
that. This year, great season, and we ignored this, sputtering towards the end, and we're
Mhm.
still bracing for a deep run in March, and for it to end so abruptly after one game in the first round against St. Peter's is even, I would argue, more brutal than last year because we were able to come to terms with it as the season went on last year. This time it was you lose St. Peter's and wham, and
It-
it hit us in the face.
yeah. As the 2 seed, obviously, because as a 2 seed, you're thinking, hey, this thing is kind of wide open, and you allow yourself to have these visions because you can make the argument that at the end of January, beginning of February, Kentucky was the best team in the country. You can make that argument after the Kansas game and some other subsequent games. You could say, hey, a healthy Kentucky is the best team in the country. And
Mhm.
so this is, for me, this season is the one season that, man, Cal could have done something different. And I say that even when losing to Kansas State, that was a Sweet 16 team, right? The Shea year, that you could tell, like you were saying about last year's team, you can kind of get a feeling on what these teams are and what they're going to do mid-season. Once you've played about 20, 25 games, right? And so this is the one team I'm like, man, I felt good about this one, and it just didn't click. So, uh, but that being said, you can be disappointed, but you can still be realistic.
Yeah.
Uh, I'm still not of the mindset that this year needs to be thrown in the trash heap. There's
Mhm.
things you can look to uh, for this year and still say, okay, that was fun. The Kansas game was certainly fun. There were other moments when this team was rolling that was really, really good. And this was something that folks were talking about last year and have been talking about. Is this team fun? Kentucky basketball was fun for a
Mhm.
long stretch this year. And you can say it was fun. It didn't end like we wanted it to, but it was still fun. Also, thrown away this season. Uh, Look at all the hardware Oscar Shibwe is accruing. He won the NABC National Player of the Year, the one award Anthony Davis didn't win.
Unbelievable.
So you got an award that no Kentucky player, no SEC player has ever won. You can't just throw the season away. And I think that there's an overreaction to the way the season ended because people aren't being realistic. I saw some tweets. You know, when's the last time we won a championship? 2020. Like It's the season was cut short, but that team won the SEC by 3 games. So it's not. It's like, come on, you know. We don't have to do these negatives to say, oh, I was disappointed by losing to a 15 seed, which turned out to be not a standard 15 seed. The first one to get to the Elite Eight. So,
Right.
and I'm not trying to solve it. I'm just saying that team was just built different. And, it was one of those things. I know the numbers, the metrics kind of, you're thinking, oh, this team was whatever they were, offensive efficiency. But sometimes you got to watch teams play. And I think a lot of the Kentucky folks were basing the prediction of St. Peter's off of a shoot around. We probably should have watched some game tape.
Yeah.
Because come to find out, like those dudes just wanted to play ball. And, and the thing too that we do, Kentucky fans, oh, we just need some people that care like the 2015 team. Are you telling me Tyler Eulis didn't care? De'Aaron Fox didn't care? Like, is that your argument? Emmanuel Quickly didn't care?
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying to me? That Nick Richards didn't work hard for 3 seasons to become junior Nick Richards and be all SEC? Is that what you're telling me? You're telling me Oscar Tshiebwe doesn't care? Is that like? And that gets tossed around. Sometimes you just lose, and it's not about caring or not caring. And folks, we just need to get back to the blue collar, this, that, and the other. Look, every one of those 4 teams in the Final Four has top dudes. They've got NBA dudes. This is not you don't win championships being plucky underdogs. Like, even if you go back to, like, you think of some of the biggest upsets in the tournament, teams that won championships, like, Ed Pickney for Villanova played in the league. Like, you don't just get a bunch of aw shucks. And now can you reach the Final Four? Yeah, because we've seen Providence reach the Final Four. We've seen Butler reach the Final Four. Although your boy for Butler, Gordon Hayward, like, he's been in the league, like, so
yeah.
So
when he healthy, he can hoop when he healthy.
Yeah. Okay. So this notion that you just need a bunch of plucky underdogs, and I think that gets lost in translation a little bit with this being the 30th anniversary of the Christian Laettner shot and the Unforgettables, and I see folks still clinging to that. Like, I get it. Like, no, full disclosure, I was not a Kentucky fan when that happened. When it happened in real time, I was still on my Louisville narcotic. I was still on that Louisville stuff. So I was really indifferent. Maybe I chuckled. But in retrospect, for me, it's one of those things. We've built that team up, a bunch of plucky underdogs. They had Jamal Mashburn on the team. Like, it wasn't just a bunch of plucky underdogs. And I get it. I get it. The Unforgettables, they mean a lot to a lot of people. I'm not trying to disparage that. But what I'm trying to say, they don't get to the Elite Eight without Jamal Mashburn.
Yep.
And the next year, they don't get to the Final Four without Jamal Mashburn. So this notion, we just need to get people that care about Kentucky on the chin. Yeah, that sounds good, but that is not the answer. It's to just get a bunch of 2-star kids play art. Like, that doesn't work for Kentucky.
And that's I mean, I talked about when Memphis Spence, I think, is when I went in why. But that was the height of, is Richie playing tonight? Because Richie was on the floor when Laettner hit the shot. So that was was it was born from that. Yes, they had Mashburn, but from the Kentuckians who feel that way standpoint, you also had 3 dudes from here out there with him.
Right.
And that's not the last time that's happened.
And I get it. I get it. And, the kids you watch in high school, Richie Farmer, Clay County, high school legend.
You had Clay County and Feldhouse. Is he from Pikeville or he's from somewhere Ashland? You had 3 dudes from Eastern Kentucky. So they cling to it. I'm not saying that's how I feel. Yes, proud of those dudes. And Kaywood Ledford from right down the road from where I grew up, his final game, it was a perfect storm for all
And,
that. Well, that's
and
why.
I get that. I really do. That team has a connection that not even that some of the championship teams have to the
And like I
fan
said,
base.
it was 3 white players too. So that
Well,
look, that carries extra weight. Whether
are we ready for that conversation?
No, I'm just saying.
But no, I mean that. Look,
it carries extra weight for those who feel that way.
Is it two of us talking here? Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. When I see, and I get it, man, you want to root for people that look like you, that you relate to. I get that. But the love, that has absolutely something to do with it. Yeah. Absolutely. Like folks convince themselves that Tyler Hero was an automatic bucket that year. No. When we come to shooting guards under Calipari, shooting guards, is he top 7? Shooting guards. Give me Bledsoe. Give me Deron Lamb. Right? Monk. Give me Malik Monk. Give me Jamal Murray. Mm-hmm. Give me Aaron Harrison. Because when I've made that comment, like, well, look at the shot that Tyler Hero hit. Well, that's cool. Aaron hit 3. So I get that, and I give folks grace with that. And I've always said it's never been about. We haven't won with all Kentucky plucky underdogs since Adolph Rupp, right?
Yeah.
Kentucky is Kentucky because Sam Bowie came here
from Pennsylvania,
because Kenny Walker came from Georgia, right? Jamal Mashburn came from New York. Mm-hmm. Anthony Davis came from Chicago. Mm-hmm. Dan Issel came from Indiana, right? Is it Illinois? Yeah. So I get it. You want Kentucky kids, but anyway, we can have that conversation.
Oh yeah, and that's all of that was already brewing before the game started, and so that was already, that wave been coming into the Tide all season, and the poster boy for Duke steps on Timberlake's chest and gets to stay in the game. That just added fuel to the fire. And then I said it when Memphis Spence was on with us. I should not know his stat line. 10 for 10 from the field, 10 for 10 from the line, 31 points. The fact that he got to stay in the game and then give us all those buckets he gave us, that's just salt into the wound immediately. And then he, of course, so if you were and you weren't a fan at the time, that's why there's a lot of more, and I'm not one that drugs up negative stuff, but that one is still, and the age I was. You're 14. If I'm 24, I'm grown, I'm working, I'm married, probably just married, and so your perspective is different. So it hits you harder than same thing when the Braves lost that World Series to the Twins. And that was 91. That there was a lot of heartbreak back then. You lose in 7, Kirby Puckett hits a walk-off home run to beat you. And I'm yelling at Bobby Cox not to bring in Charlie Lee Brandt. And then you go into the spring and you have the Leitner shot. So, you got a lot of sports stabs to the heart at that time. So,
Right. But my argument has been, I can understand if we were the Buffalo Bills fans,
exactly, yes.
Right? Or, Butler fans or something like that. My argument, and it's not really an argument, but my point of view is we have had so much good in the tournament. We have broken more hearts than we've had our hearts broken.
True.
People forget Indiana was undefeated in 75 as well until when? They played Kentucky, right? So we have ended a lot of people's dream season. Wichita State don't like to play Kentucky because we ended their dream season. Like we have shattered more dreams than we've had dreams shattered. From the Aaron Kraft, Jared Sullinger, Ohio State team to the North Carolina team that year. Like we have ended, like I just want folks to just think for a moment. We've had more good than bad. You can't have our resume without a lot of good memories. I went back, looked at BigBlueHistory.net, looked at the stat line for the Sweet 16 game in '96 against Wake Forest. They put Tim Duncan in a phone booth.
Yep.
He had 2 field goals. He was 2 of 7. Got some free throws, but he was 2 of 7. Like, again, that's what, when you start looking at that kind of stuff, I still say that '96 team is the best team I ever saw. The best. Period.
Yep. Absolutely. Just sent a link too. We got a guest coming on. We hadn't even mentioned him yet, but coming to us from Atlanta. He's not in the green room yet, but he should be shortly if everything goes well. J.R. McHenry. He hosts the Bossman Show. He's out of Atlanta. You can go to bossmanshow.com and talk to him about all that. He's interviewed everybody. It's part of the Believe Network, just like the Believe in Kentucky podcast that I host. So he's part of that network. But interviewed pretty much every coach in the tournament. So we'll talk to him about that. Covers the Hawks. Talk to him about some NBA. Dude knows his stuff and just a good dude to chop it up with. So hopefully he'll be on here with us in just a second. And
we got to talk about the slap.
Absolutely. We got that. And, you and I got put in a little podcasters DM group chat. And, we jump in and chat a little bit here and there. But the big topic today was podcasters getting together and hooping. And there's a poll out on Twitter. I retweeted from my account and retweeted from Cats Talk Wednesday. You and I are part of Team 1. Team 2 is you got Religiously Kentucky, who we've had your boy JD on, Tiffin Wildcat on, Jay Hayes is part of that group. And so it's a big back and forth as to who would do what if all the podcasters would play. Is it going to be 5-on-5? Will it be 2-on-2 like me and you against 2 others? There's so many different things getting talked about. People talking trash, people talking about how tall they are, people giving themselves scouting reports on Twitter and in the DM group. So that's been kind of fun to banter about. You got jerseys, on lock for everybody. So it's been a fun little chatter and banter going on today.
They should have caught me before I started running. they should have caught me about 50 pounds ago. So, all right. I mean, don't forget, I played against the 2013 MOP now. Come on now.
There it is. On a weekly basis, right?
So yeah, so we'll if it ever comes to fruition, I don't know that will because everybody's all over the country.
Yeah,
Arizona Terry's he's in Arizona. I'm all the way here. But if it ever comes to fruition, hey, lace them up, baby.
Yeah, it's one of those dudes. I think because we talked about his new podcast a couple weeks ago, but one of his co-hosts, I think, is in Colorado, and another one's in California. So they're out there West Coasting. You're Midwest, and so yeah. If all 10 of us ever converge on Lexington, it'll be fun. So
absolutely. Don't I got my shoes right over here. We can go, baby.
Yeah, for sure. Oh.
You want to get it with the Jays? We can get it with the Jays. Whatever we want to do anyway. But we got to talk about that slap and how it's just gone from 2 grown men having a disagreement to all these think pieces. What if it was a woman he hit, but it wasn't? Would he have done it to a white man? But it wasn't. Like, sometimes stuff it is what it is. 2 people disagreeing. It don't have to be any more than that. It was funny, but it ain't got to be anything more than
violence. I thought it was kind of funny too. Look, I mean, maybe I watched too much Three Stooges as a kid, but it was funny to me.
Oh, assault.
We got a guest here in the green room, TB. So
all right. We got to recalibrate.
We keep going. We keep going. I'm sure you got thoughts on all this too. as I mentioned a few minutes ago, coming to us from Atlanta, Georgia. He hosts the Bossman Show, part of the Believe Podcast Network, which my other podcast, the Believe Kentucky, is part of. This dude has interviewed everybody at Hawks games all the time. Sees our guy Tony Delk. Sees my favoriteest player ever all the time, Dominique Wilkins, on a regular basis. And we're talking about none other than J.R. McHenry. J.R. the Boss Man, host of the Bossman Show. J.R., man, what's up, baby?
What is good, brother Vinny, brother Terry? How you brothers doing today? In this great day of getting slapped by. Hey, if he slapped me, he would get knocked down on sight. I'm telling you right now.
So let's break this down. I know we're gonna do sports. We got to break this down because I've seen it's gone from jokes. It was going from shock to jokes to now everybody's got these Twitter threads. Everybody's posted on these things, and I'm like, what are we doing? It was two dudes had a disagreement. Like that's just it. Now, just because they got on tuxedos and they had a room full of famous people, it's just two dudes had a disagreement. I mean, I've been places where somebody said, that's enough. The other person went too far. Whack them. Okay. Like, am I seeing this wrong? Or what are we doing here? And thanks for joining this, boss man. Appreciate it.
Man, look, you know how things are in this day and age. Clicks, clickbait, so likes, comments. So it's gonna get sensationalized. You know how it is. Me personally, Will Smith should have been slapping the dude sleeping with his wife, not Chris Rock. Me personally. The entanglement dude, August Alsina, slap him. Hey, he's a comedian. He's gonna make jokes about stuff. You all are radio hosts, so am I. I'm gonna talk about stuff. You gonna come slap me and you for it? Comment on your situation when you put in the public eye? Come on, dude. So he was laughing. Then his wife wasn't laughing, so he got all offended, like, oh, but she ain't laughing. I'm gonna go inside out this Negro. And Vinny, Terry, you all know in the black community, slapping us is like this. This is like I'm gonna slap you. That's just like bro. Like Chris Rock, I get it. You want to be professional and stay in the moment, but you got his butt kicked on sight and he did to me. I'm from the west side of Atlanta. Ain't happening, player.
Yeah, there's just so many layers because people are like, well, Will, he was laughing, and he was, but then he looked at Jay.
Remember, his wife wasn't laughing. That's when his whole mindset shifted.
Yep.
She ain't laughing.
They ain't laughing. Uh-oh.
That's when it all changed. When she
so he had to do something. Yeah, and I understand that. If your woman ain't happy, like that's what I tweeted out. Like, look, y'all gotta understand. He's got to go home with her, right? Like, and she can't. He can't.
Everybody's been in her home too. Remember? Now I know this is bad to say, guys, but you remember the R. Kelly, Mr. Big saga back in the day when he already in Mr. Big's home always.
Yeah,
I'm seeing like the changes and downloads. Friend of mine, every song.
I did this to you, Kelly. Look at me. Yeah. All right.
What the hell's going on?
Telling me you've been sleeping with another woman.
I'm just saying, that's what's going on right there in my head.
But and the thing about Will and Jada, they've been putting all their business out. Like, I wish I knew less about their marriage.
100%.
Like, look, every marriage is different, right? What you do, I don't do. What I get that, but I don't need to know exactly what you do.
100%. That's my whole thing. Chris Rock wouldn't know about this if you didn't put it out there. Yeah, you was commenting on at the red table or putting it out there, or come on, slap August Alsina, the dude who was piping your woman down.
But and that's my thing with all this. We're gonna move on to sports in a second. But if your wife does that to you, okay, y'all hang out behind closed doors. But you can't have me sitting here on international TV to my face talking about entanglement. I'm not sitting here gonna get meme crying and you talking about what you did with another man. That's something we got to handle on over here.
Mm-hmm.
That shit ain't been out, no, but that's between me, you, and the four walls, lady.
Yeah, whatever it is.
Look, I'll give you an example. I've been doing this for over 12 years, brothers. I don't put my life on the gram. The gram ain't gonna know who I'm messing with.
Yeah.
And I know some women take that personally. No, it ain't about that. It's about keeping that privacy. between JR the Bossman Show, and JR the dude off the air.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
You put your craziness out there, talking about it.
No doubt.
This can't be where you draw the line.
Correct.
That's
one more
that's
quick
just me.
one
Yeah,
more
go ahead, Vic.
too. How did Chris Rock not know what was coming when Will walked up on him on stage? How you not? What
He should have been ready. Why this dude coming to me? He ain't coming to hug me.
Right.
He should have had his finger, his fist cocked or something to defend it. Do like I want to block him or something.
He's been ready. I mean, yeah.
When you are with an argument with somebody, another dude, and it crosses that line, and somebody walks up quiet, you know what's going to happen. There's no surprise of what's going to happen. When a dude stops talking, that's when you know. But
it's time to get ready to defend myself.
Chris almost 60 years old. If he didn't know what that walk was by now, he ain't ever gonna know.
Well, he's been in that corporate world too much, Vinny. He forgot who he was in that moment and what we are.
Yeah.
We don't play that.
That's true.
All right, we got to do some sports now, Vinny. We got to talk about something. But we had to touch on that slap because it's still all over the place, man.
No doubt.
And man, appreciate you like TV said. Appreciate you hopping on. I should have had you on here a long time ago. That's my bad. So
you good, Vinny? Hey, look, you brother. I know you a busy man. The Wildcats was going strong until they wasn't. I feel you, brother.
That's true.
Until you got Shaheen, I understand, brother.
And let's go start with that because on the bossmanshow.com, we got your Twitter handle here scrolling. You interviewed pretty much every coach in the tournament, including Shaheen Holloway. So just tell us about the interview with Shaheen.
Hey, he was a straight up New York dude. Look, the off the air conversation me and him had was one of a kind. It was like, bro, like we on some New York, Atlanta type stuff. Well, we want for the same kind of on the background, you know what I'm saying? But talk about his defense of his team, how his team play defense, how he got 11 dudes who he can play, throw them in waves and bunches, and his guys believe in that they do so many defensive drills all practice long. They don't want to work on offense that much at all. It's all defense. And you saw what they call was defense. You know what I'm saying? 3-2 zones, 1-2-2 zones, tracking the traps, man-to-man switches. So, hey, look, Shaheen Holloway come from Queens. You know what I'm saying? He come from the gutter. But dude is like on top of things. If y'all don't remember or not, in 96, my man played with Kobe Bryant and them in the McDonald's game. Mm-hmm. He was in that game. Shaheen was a dude. And, you know, for me, man, it's college coaching world, man. I talk to everybody I can. Now, I don't want to get somebody in trouble, but I'm going to say Deb and Eric be tripping with Coach Cal and me. He ain't got time to come on my show. I'm throwing it out there. Deb and Eric, BS. He can be on Jim Ross and go on the Bossman Show. Cal know who I am. Kenny Payne know who I am. Bruce know who I am. Orlando know who I am. Come on now. Deb and Eric, he ain't got time. He has commitments elsewhere. Come on. So I'm just throwing out the BBN. Tell your SIDs to get him on the Bossman Show on your radio, BBN. I'm a TSU Tiger, the Big Blue Tigers too, BBT. You know what I'm saying? I'm with y'all almost.
Hey, now, for disclosure, the Believe Network threw out a request to him on that podcast too, and he wasn't on there with me either. So,
does it do the time constraints? Well, he's too busy.
Yeah. So that is what that is. It ain't just you. Like he does pop on Rome though, like you said.
Well, Jim Rome, Dan Patrick, Colin Cowherd. So is it because we ain't got the corporate name behind us? You don't believe dudes, BBN, SIDs. I'm just throwing out there.
You further along down this road than me, because like you said, 12 years and we proud of our guests, but your guest list is something else too now. You hey.
Bruh, look, 12 years of heartache, having to cuss dudes out in emails, tell them who the hell I am. I'm not going to name the school, but it's a certain school in ACC that I had to tell the SID, I can just text the coach myself. I'm being nice to you by giving you and sending you an email. And all of a sudden, he had time to come on my show. Oh, coach has time now, JR. We'll get him on Tuesday. Yeah. I told you who the hell I was.
Tricks of the trade from the boss, man. Look at that.
Hey, sometimes you gotta be rough, guys. You can't be nice to these people. They want to act like, well, you got no time. Is that right? So you been telling me when you can't find 15 minutes on any day next few months? You mean tell me you can't find 15 minutes? You mean tell me that?
Your interview with Shaheen was 12 minutes. I listened to it at work yesterday. I was like, oh man, 12 minutes. And Jim Larinaga, Shaheen Holloway. I mean, you just go down the list and you got them. Boom, boom, boom. They on the
yes. Yes, and the ones gonna come on my show, they have bad karma. You notice that? The show karma's real. Hey, you'll come on the Bossman Show, you might lose.
The other guy you just mentioned talk about that karma too now.
Who's that?
Jungle karma.
Here you got the voodoo. I have voodoo and voodoo. Okay. I got Haitian in my blood. So give you some of that and make sure you lose. See, Vinny, I like you and Terry. I didn't hold that against Coach Cal. I do it. Cal lost because Shaheen had the karma. I didn't put no hex on Cal.
Now, talking about Coach Holloway and how they played, I think a lot of Kentucky fans focused on like their offensive game, but it was the defense that really turned the tide, and we saw that with St. Peter's and Houston. Just a lot of dudes that make you uncomfortable.
Yes,
and that's what Coach Sampson does. That's what Coach Holloway does. Like, we don't have the McDonald's All-Americans, but we got a lot of dudes that will make you uncomfortable and get you away from what you want to do.
Well, Terry, the thing about it is they don't see Kentucky and they scared. That's what it is. See, a lot of these schools were smaller. They already lost because they see the name of the jersey. Oh, I'm playing Georgia Tech. They already lose. I'm playing Kentucky. They already lose. Shaheen got boys that from Jersey and New York, just dogs who want to prove what they are. They ballers, right? But what better do to go so against John Calipari and the Wildcats? You know what I'm saying? And he got in that game. Kentucky made some mistakes, do their defense and shooting wise. Keep it in front of them. And Shaheen like to say, keep them in front of you. And it's also make or miss, hustle errors. It happened that way. The perfect storm happened, and guess what? They got hot. Then we beat Kentucky. We ain't scared nobody. We beat Kentucky. Okay, Purdue, cool. Murray State, also karma. Murray State could have had him here on the show as well, but he hadn't had any time for that during that pre-tournament week, right? So that karma hit him again. Murray State, yeah. So yes, so then it go. Okay, Purdue, cool, and then against North Carolina, Hubert Davis ran out of gas. That Baycott cat was too big for those boys, and they got hit. They got hit early, and then they didn't have enough offense to come back. Yeah. But Shaheen is going Seton Hall, going to get paid. So the Big East is coming back strong. Mike Anderson wants to come back, will be gone for St. John's. I'm telling you that right now. It's happening. It'll be next year. He'll be gone for St. John's. Laval, Jordan, and Butler will be gone April the 1st when his buyout drops. They're going to face with Jeff Bowles because Thad Matta is there to AD at Butler.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Wow. See, TB's boy, Mike Anderson, too. But
that's correct, Vinny. Yes.
But when you said all the stuff that they weren't gonna be scared of Kentucky. Your interview with Shaheen was the day before the game against Kentucky, and he was just as calm and collected and composed about what they were gonna go out and do. And then they went out and did it. I mean, when we as Kentucky fans, we hate it. We still trying to wrap our heads around the fact that they went out in the first round to a 15 seed. But he, like you said, he's got it together. He got it together. We're not gonna back down. And we said it last week or the show after St. Peter's knocked us out. We both said it. TB St. Peter's stepped up to Kentucky and like, we hear what y'all gonna do about it. We're going to be here for 40 minutes. And Kentucky didn't handle that well. And then listening to your interview with him the day before the game, they was just handling his mindset and it carried right on over when they stepped on the court. Yes, the way you open practice ain't the way you play, TB, because there was a lot on social media about how bad they looked in the open practice, and that ain't the way they came out and played the next day.
No, we read too much. It's just a shoot around.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
the shoot around ain't even
We gonna
practice.
show you your real stuff. Look, I do this in the NBA all the time. Shoot around just you BSing. Now, unless you Rick Carlisle, somebody Stan Van Gundy, they have real practice doing shoot arounds. But most NBA teams, it's just BSing, right? And you open practice, you ain't gonna really show what you do in open practice. You just entertain and be around, right?
Right.
And like I said, how Shaheen was talking off the air, it didn't surprise me. He's like, we here. We expect to do this. Like, that's how he was talking off the air. He's like, you gonna air this? I said, I'd rather not. We me and you talking real Negro talk. So I'd rather not air this part. We gonna air this part. This simple. This not real Negro talk. We talking like some. We talking. You had some hood talking on Vinny and Tim. We talking like hood Negroes. Whatever we are. So I didn't want to air that part of us being raw and uncut. But he was us, man. We in Indianapolis. The Wi-Fi is terrible here, but we here.
Mm-hmm.
Opportunity, CBS, Kentucky, show us what we about in Jersey City. We some New York guys in New Jersey. I mean, so he was talking, bro.
Yeah, and to their credit, man, they walked the walk too, man. They really did.
They sent a lot of teams home. Now, looking at this tournament from your point of view, Jared, like every tournament is obviously is different, but when you think about with still the Final Four left to play, just looking at this tournament, how does this kind of stack up with what you've seen before? I know we had a lot of craziness. Again, Kentucky went out. But the Final Four, it's four name brands. This is kind of the best of both worlds. You got your upsets, but when it's time to make that money, the NCAA got the teams that they probably would have wanted.
Yeah, you know how it always does. They want their first weekend upset. They don't really want nothing after that, right? Mm-hmm. But hey, Jim Brown, they just team came out second half and just was crappy. They had Kansas in a pickle, but they got down, they tapped out. That happens, right? You know what I'm saying? St. Peter's got down, tapped out. Duke, Musselman, he's stubborn. He's an NBA guy, he's stubborn. He ain't gonna really change what he's doing. I heard Barkley saying he should go zone. He don't play no zone. Like, first of all, Barkley and Kenny Smith should not be on the NBA. I mean, I don't call NCAA coverage. They don't know what the hell they're talking about. Just be quiet. Shut your Barkley be on TNT with Shaq running your mouth about nothing. Like, leave out that let Clark Kellogg and Greg Gumbel. Seth Davis just a Duke homer. Forget him. I don't hear him say either. Screw him. But yeah, they got what they wanted. Will I watch? Probably not. I'm not impressed by the Final Four now because none of them guys came on my show, so screw them. That's how that works.
Coach K did hit you up on his farewell tour. He's been just about everywhere else.
Coach has a bunch of requests to fulfill your request. How that work out? Oh yeah, Tom Crean too. How did that work out? You, Tom Crean?
Tom Crean said no.
Yeah, he was.
Oh come on! Obviously he wasn't running a practice. What was he doing? Lord forgive me. I need to be nice.
Running people off.
Literally, yeah.
Running people off. But he didn't have time either. So look what happened to him. He didn't have time, right? See how that works? The karma again. See how that works, Tom Green? But Mike Wilson come on the show. That's my guy. Look what happened in Indiana. See what happens? See how that works? Oh yeah, Matt Painter ain't got time either. Purdue, good job. So for me now it's about the new coaching hires, the NBA playoffs coming up. Well, the Hawks are going to playoffs today. The Hawks ain't going nowhere, y'all. Play-in game, we done. But I'm looking forward to playoffs. Looking forward to a lot of things, guys, and new coaching hires. Shout out to Kenny Payne, cool dude. I know he's at the U of L, not where you all want to be anymore, but he a good dude though.
Yeah. Now I grew up a Louisville fan. I'm from Louisville. I grew up a Cardinals fan. So
how'd you become the Blue fan now? How'd you get to be Blue?
I'll break it. This is how I break it down for folks. When I was in high school, U of L said, we will give you X to come here. I said, okay. Kentucky said, we will give you X plus Y and some Z. I said, "Bing," and and it also helped that my freshman year was that '96 squad that was just, that killed everybody. So
You know what's
I
funny
voted.
about that? I told this to the Delk. I said, Tony, I ball boyed for you at the Georgia Dome, Arkansas. I was a ball boy. I was 8 years old when you was on the court. Like, for real? Yeah.
Wow.
I was a ball with you in the Georgia Dome. When eventually, I ain't gonna lie to you. I was cheering for Arkansas with Tony. You know why? They had a black coach.
Yeah. We talked about that before. We talked about that before. Whenever we had a lot of respect for Arkansas coming into the SEC, and when they weren't playing Kentucky, we like Corliss and Nolan and Scotty Thurman and all those guys. When they playing for Kentucky, of course, rooted for Kentucky. But we talked about that before too. Had a lot of respect for them.
Speaking of karma, now we all know that how Nolan Richardson left Arkansas was messy, right? We
Very
got
messy.
that. But until they put his name on the court and made it right with Coach Richardson, now they've been to back-to-back Elite Eights. You talk about karma. They wouldn't do anything till they made it right with Nolan, because it was ugly how he left. He shouldn't have left that way. I'm not going to bring that up from 20 years ago, but y'all know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. So I was an 8-year-old dude, Vinny, like cheering for this dude. Y'all remember back in the day when the tournament had a tornado, when they go to Georgia Tech and finish the tournament up?
Yeah.
I was there then.
Yeah,
so
that was.
I was in the Georgia Dome saying, what the heck happened to Georgia Dome? You know what I'm saying? And tornado hit the dome. Like, for real? So Dennis Felton saved his job somehow winning that tournament at Georgia Tech with nobody to stay in hardly but us.
Yo, sure did.
I remember those OSC days. I remember those days. Jefferson Pilot Sports, Tom Hammond, Larry Conley, Harry
Golden Flake,
Dean Jr.,
string music. There we go. See, that's one of those. If you know, you know. If you know about some string music, in the old JP Sports.
Yes,
indeed. Man,
that's it. Man, now you got your Hawks hat on, and being real, I grew up Hawks. There's no pro teams in Kentucky. Most of Kentucky likes the Reds and the Bengals because Cincinnati's the closest to Kentucky. But I was from southeastern Kentucky, so had a lot of family in Atlanta. We was always coming down in the summer. So, and TBS. So I was all about Dominique and Dale Murphy and so all that. But that Dominique for Danny Manning trade, I had to jump off. So you still see my man on a regular basis. You see Dominique just as much as you see Tony Delk, don't you? I mean, pretty much every time you go in there.
Yes, every time I'm there, I see Tony Delk, Dominique Wilkins, Bob Rathbun, Steve Holman, dudes who I didn't know they got meet in my life. Being real.
Yeah.
I'm in the hood of Atlanta. I'm from the gutter. I grew up poor as po can be. I had to go get food at Clark and Spelman and Morehouse in the dining hall and blend in. That's how poor I was. Okay. So to be able to cover the NBA and see Dominique Wilkins, Atlanta icon, every day, see Tony Delk, who I bar boy at 4 and 8 years old, every day. You know what I'm saying? See dudes like, I never thought I'd be cool with Chauncey Billups or Rodney Billups or have friends around the league the way I do, cool with Mark Jackson, who should have a coaching job still. Just being real. Being cool with Stan Van Gundy. Talk to Hubie Brown, a legend. 88 years old, still coming to games and commentating.
The thing about Hubie Brown I love is every time I watch a game where he's doing color, I learn something about basketball. And you can't say that about a lot of the color people that do
he's
the
still
game.
sharp.
Yeah. He'll break it down. I say, you know what? I never saw the short corner man. Okay. Love Hubie Brown. Wait, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
So just to be able to do these things, man, in my home and be doing it that's where I grew up at, like, I'm blessed and lucky. But it took years of being on the graveyard shift, guys. 2 to 6 in the morning, 11 to 1s, and to get my break in, fighting for everything. Bro, nobody put me on. I put myself on.
Tell us how you started. Because you were telling to Shaheen a little bit about how he wanted to be a coach. You were telling him how you wanted to get in the radio. So when the idea first hit you, when it was a twinkle in your eye, what was going on and what made you pivot to that, and then of course work your way into what you're doing now?
Well, I knew being a 5'11" slot receiver wasn't going to work out at that time. That's one reason.
Mm-hmm.
That was before Wes Welker, right?
Yeah.
So I do that too. And I didn't want to have a real job. I didn't want to have to punch the clock. You feel me? So I was like, this Stephen A. Smith cat runs his mouth. He don't know nothing. He just a dummy. You know what I'm saying? Jim Rome is a talker, but he ain't played no sports, right? Dan Patrick is a talker, but so I'm like, I can do this too and put my spin on it, right? So I started this, urban sports radio, right? Like being who I was, not all buttoned up because, bro, I ain't proper. I'm not all got. I ain't got a question list in front of me. Like, let me ask you this question. Yes, that's not me. We having a barbershop talk, right? So I had some meetings with some people, bro. Trying to talk to people in Atlanta who's in radio, wouldn't meet with me or not show up. I said, screw you. So I started going to these Radio Free Georgia, Radio Free Nashville's, and being co-host. I'm like, I see the vision. Come on late at night, just get my reps, trial and error. I had a panel at one time. I had a panel for one time. 6 folks, right? Too much noise on that, right? Went down to a co-host. Still didn't like that. Then 2 to 6 in the mornings, 11 to 1s, every day on the air, right? Just cutting in and getting it in, right? 2012 happens. I get into the Hawks. I get into the Grizzlies, the Falcons. I started getting into places, right, with my credentials, right? Then just kept on grinding, right? Covered the Magic, so it's kept on grinding. So finally to the point where, hey, I do one team now, but it took hard work. And still, even because I'm in independent black media, I ain't got no corporation behind me. I know I'm joking, but I'm being real too. They're still talented still. Because I ain't ESPN, SEC Network, I ain't CBS, Yahoo. So it's always that stigma like, why we put him on this dude's show? Who was he? Look at my following. I built on my own. I don't buy followers. I earn followers from being who I am, right? So it's been a grind, guys. Like, you don't know how many emails on this phone I have to fight with people about guests and stuff, right? Like, come on, man. Like, what's wrong with you? You know what I'm saying? So, like, bro, it's been a whirlwind, but I'll tell you this. Being out there 2 to 6 in the morning on the radio, bro, with nobody listening to you, I loved it, man. That's how I got better at this thing, right? I learned how to change stuff up and being on the radio late night. It's me and the deer and truckers, right? Folks heard me like, damn, it's kind of cool, blah, 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 blah. Because I ain't like, you have to find your own niche, right? I'm not for everybody, right? I know that. I talk how I talk. I am who I am. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So but it works for me. So in this, I found my space where I'm gonna talk to college coaches, talk to players, cover sports, so cover tennis, even cover golf. You know what I'm saying? Bowling. I got some models on my show too. Some models. I know y'all married. Got models on my show coming. Don't get in trouble. I'm just saying. So yeah, I got comedians as well. So I decided, hey, be a one-stop shop for radio, sports, entertainment, politics, life, whatever. Do it on the Bossman Show on your radio. That's how it was, brother.
So you done it so long, man. You grinded so hard, and went back and forth with so many people. You beyond, getting starstruck and all that. But who would you say your biggest interview is, or the interview you're the most proud of, or the biggest sports interview, whoever in the sports world that you're like, yeah, when you say I've had such and such on my show, who's the first person you mention? Like us, we'll say Dickie V, we'll say Lee Steinberg, we'll say Roy Wood Jr., stuff like that. Who is that for you when you're telling somebody that don't know about you, well, I've had such and such? Who from the sports world is the biggest ones that, most impressive ones in your opinion?
Well, when I'm here, it's Michael Vick, Roddy White, it's Dominique Wilkins when I'm here. Outside of here is like, like Al Horford, you know what I'm saying? Guys like that. Markel Fultz, Mark Gasol, Zach Randolph, Vince Carter, those kind of guys.
Yeah.
NFL wise, Harry Douglas, Tyrone Calico, Kevin Dyson, soon to be, so stuff like that, man. But you know what, for me, bro, I've been to so many years, I forgot interviews I done did. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. To be real, I forgot some interviews I had. Like, I couldn't tell you. I can't tell you what I did. I get 09 to now, man. It's like so many dudes I've talked to. But see, I'm not starstruck. I see these dudes every day. Like, I have stories for days about how dudes really are.
Yeah.
Somebody like, how are these guys nice? Depends on who you are. Like the fans. What about the fans? They don't care. They just get their checks.
No.
They don't care.
Mm-hmm.
They don't care. They don't care.
All the shiny, glitzy stuff. You've been around long enough to know. You know how it is. So
yeah, like for me, it's like people like, oh my God, you're on them every day. Like to me, it's regular people. To me,
right? They breathe the same air as you do.
They got more money than I do.
Right?
That's all. They got more money than me. No, they got more money than I do. That's cool. But guess what though? I see. Okay, you got more money than I do. But you can't die with it.
You're right.
When you die, it's gone. You know what I'm saying? So like for me, that's why guys are cool with me because I don't ask for anything. We have to talk about basketball and life. I don't ask them to do for nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever they give me is what they give me. I don't ask them for nothing.
Yeah.
But man, it's like for me, being around dudes like, hey, that's whatever. So like for me, it's like, man, that's Chauncey Billups. That's Chauncey to me. That's Rod to me. I don't look at it like, man, it's Chauncey to me. That's Chauncey. You know what I'm saying? That's Al. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's like, you know what I'm saying? That's Millsap. That's what I call Mill. I don't.
Yeah.
I don't be like they be like that's all it is to me, but it's all good though.
I'm on a different level. What do you think shakes out with this NBA? I mean, as far as who comes out of the East, who comes out of the West?
The East is tricky, man. East is tricky, bro. All these teams up and down too much. It's gonna be a hell of a race. Look, Chicago Bulls, they lost Lonzo Ball, has dropped down. The Nets may not make out of play-in round. Think about that. Because Cleveland's slumping. They done been hurt. They're slumping too. So it could be Charlotte at Atlanta. So Atlanta and Charlotte, rather. LaMelo Ball or Trae Young could go off tonight and then be in the play against the Nets or the other Cavaliers who say they're going to win that game. Then you get Miami, Philadelphia, Boston, Milwaukee. The Hawks ain't going to be none of them teams. Maybe the Bucks because Bud don't make any adjustments. Maybe the Bucks because
y'all know about him. Y'all know.
Here we go.
All about him.
Here we go. Jr. He didn't make any shots. You got to play more pace. Got to get better. Got to get Al more shots. DeMar more shots. We got to play more energy, more pace. Same old thing, bro. Every day, same old thing. Never changes. Never change what he said. Never, ever in life. I miss Lloyd Pierce. Shout out to LP Lloyd. Shout out to Lloyd Pierce. LP. You should still be here, Lloyd. I like Nate. You still be here. We all know why you ain't here no more. We know why. I ain't saying why, but we know why. You know what I'm saying? So the East could be any one of the Celtics. Robert Williams is getting hurt. That hurts them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It could be Miami, Philadelphia, and the Bucks. But Brooklyn, to me, they're too disjointed. So I think it's going to be one of them 4 teams. The Nets ain't going to do it. Out West, you got Phoenix head above everybody else. The Warriors are on a slide. They get a little down to the 6th seed. Well, how he lose? That's how he been losing. Because Steph's hurt, Draymond Green's hurt, Clay's not what he was. So them young guys will go to State are kind of not doing what they need to do. Memphis is a 2 seed, but Memphis is style based on turnovers. When the game slows down in the playoffs, Memphis can't score the way they need to score. So Denver with Jokic, he could win a series. Doncic, they at a 4th seed now. So Utah is Utah, and Utah ain't doing that because though Quinn Snyder coached on the Budenholzer.
Luka's got to win a series, right? Because he's at that point now. He's got to get it done.
Depending on CD he made. Because the Clippers, the Clippers. All right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Minnesota could give you a scare, maybe with Edwards and Towns a couple of games. Then the fake show was the fake show. They hope they go home for good. Don't make the play. Hey, go Spurs, go Pelicans. You forget the fake show. Forget the fakers. The LA fakers. The has-beens. Okay? Forget them. This was like 09. It'd be a great team. But it's not.
That's right.
You know, like, so for me out west, it's Phoenix. I mean, if Golden State was whole and full, maybe that'd be a series. But with Steph coming off an injury, the young guys are playing well, and Draymond Green losing a step, you know, and Klay not being where he needs to be at, and with them letting a slide, because guess what? They in them 2 seeds, they can kind of protect themselves. They might be the 4 or 5 or 6 seed with them losing all these games.
Yeah, because the 3 to 7 seed are all within about 4 games of each other out west. So
Yeah,
you got to keep playing.
Now they better beat the fake show. The fakers are coming up to the schedule. They should beat the fake show because I'm not a fan of the fake show and their fans.
Me neither.
So and also
I'm all right with TB, but the rest of them fake show fans, I'm not.
Oh yeah, TB, bad job, TB, bad job.
Oh, look, in full disclosure, I said before the season when they made those moves, Vinny, you're my witness. I said, you know, this isn't going to work. These guys are too old. And yea, verily, it's come to pass. You know, you can load up on those dudes. If LeBron can be super LeBron, you can have some old dudes. But LeBron, he's getting old too.
Yeah.
Right? Like we don't think about LeBron being old, but dude's been balling since 03. You look at those career NBA minutes, he's top 10. Like he's logged a lot of minutes. And if LeBron can't be LeBron, this team is, well, they're beyond mediocre, but
well, I'm enjoying it because I can't stand his fans. His fans annoy me. I ask his fans, when does he ever take a picture with you all? When does he ever acknowledge you all besides ever? You all fight over him, you love him so much, but does he ever give y'all a picture of him with him when he's out? No, he doesn't.
Now let me be clear. I'm a Lakers fan from the Magic Kareem days.
Well, that's fair. You're not one of these bandwagons. I'm a Heat fan this year, Cavs fan this year, you know. But yeah, LeBron James fans get on my nerves because he don't care about y'all. Y'all fight over him. He don't care about y'all. He don't give y'all no dap, no love. He don't take pictures with y'all. Come on.
Yeah. So I'm always clear when I'm discussing Lakers. I go way back. I'm not a new Lakers fan.
No doubt.
Some of those new fans annoy me too. Like, come on, man, y'all ain't got to act like this. We are not the Clippers.
But y'all are right now.
But we ain't got to live like this. We ain't got to do like this.
Hey, I'm enjoying it. I want to go out in flames.
We not the Rockets.
Oh, they're tanking very good. Hey, the Rockets, the Pistons, the Thunder, and the Magic are tankathon. They're taking greatly right now.
Yes, we
Tank away my brothers. Tom Thibodeau's a horrible coach too. He's a terrible coach. He's the knee killer.
Yeah, he grinds everybody. He grinds everybody to the.
Hey, in the league, they call him that man the knee killer in the league. That's his name, the knee killer.
You can't be playing your dudes 45 minutes a night.
RJ Barrett gonna be a Derrick Rose next year. Watch.
You just can't do that.
Okay, you're not going in. We're not going in the playoffs. Why are you playing Evan Fournier and Taj Gibson all these minutes? Why? Dude, too stuffing for his own good.
I don't usually get into the X's and O's and substitution patterns, but you know, if you watch a Tom Thibodeau team, you're gonna see the star, and he's gonna play 45 minutes.
45 minutes a night on a back-to-back.
Yeah.
All about, hey, look, bro, my knees hurting, coach. I don't care. Play more.
Yeah.
But here's some ibuprofen. Like you better get out there.
Hey, for real? Yeah, like, bro, like, nah, dude's a terrible coach.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be real with you. The Hawks should have beat them last year. You know why the Hawks beat them? Because he let Trae Young hide on Reggie Bullock the whole time in the corner. He wouldn't put him no action. He's just Randall pick and roll in the middle. Or Derrick Rose isolation. So Trae can hide in the corner on Bullock. You put Trae Young in the action, make the Hawks get in rotation and defend, the Hawks are very beatable. Just being real.
Yeah, but then we wouldn't have Trey Young being the villain in Madison Square Garden.
I'm gonna not comment on Trey Young.
Okay. Or as they say, trade the bars with his hair. But I'm gonna be nice.
Look here, you on my Trey Young thoughts? We get those to you offline.
Okay, here we go.
My real Trey Young thoughts, you get them offline.
There we go.
I won't do it. Look here, I like my paychecks.
All right, we ain't gonna mess with the money. I understand.
So look here, I will. If that's the point, I will be like, I will not go that far because I like my paychecks. Now, off the radio, yeah, I'll tell you the real off the air.
You know you got the real too. You got the real on everything.
He know I know. He knows I know. LP, you know I know. Nate, you know I know Nate. You know I know Nate. I ain't gonna say it on there, but I know.
I know you do, man. What's coming up next on the show, on the website? What you got coming? Because you just did all these interviews with all these coaches for the tournament. What you got planned next for the people?
I got 3 models on the show that I'm gonna post tonight. Don't get in trouble, guys. 3 coaches. Greg Correnda, who coached Shane Holloway at Seton Hall, FDU United's head coach. Essen Crafton, UMES, and Chris Gerflus, the new coach of San Francisco Dons, because Todd Golden left the Dons and went to the Gators.
Yeah, sure it is.
Yo, shout out to Denver, the SID. Todd Golden got my phone number, sucker. He'll be on my show sooner than you think, sucker.
Hey, you right there. you just up the road from Athens. How they feel about getting Mike White from Florida? That was just kind of weird.
Let me explain something to you, Vinny. They don't invite me up to Athens. I'm not welcome up there. I'm too hood for them in Athens.
Oh, okay.
Claude Felton don't like my black ass. So, Georgia, look, I'll tell you no lie. I have never covered a Dogs event because I ain't welcome up there.
Oh, okay.
I have never been to that campus to cover a thing. Now, if this guy got the job, I would have been up there. This guy's my boy. He's in Missouri now. He my boy. He would have took care of your boy. Now, we let Bossman and Vinny, that's my dude. But, yeah. But I'm going to try to get Mike White on my show because I'm going to say, hey, you talk about time. I used to talk to Mark Fox on my show. I used to talk to Mark Fox, but he got fired. Yeah. But Mike White was in Louisiana State to come on my show. But, bro, I don't know because I fools with Josh Pastner, Amir Abdul-Rahim, Rob Lanier going to SMU now. Shout out to Rob Lanier and Greg Gary down there at Mercer. Brian Berg is at Georgia Southern. He's probably going to work for Chris Beard again at Texas. He's probably going to be leaving his job soon. Statesboro for me is too much, guys.
I've been there. I know about Statesboro.
Too many of them flags for my liking in Statesboro, bro.
I know about. I've been down there.
Look, Terry, Vinny, I'm a hood dude. Surrey County in Georgia, I ain't gonna be there past dark.
We from Kentucky. We know.
I'm gonna be real. Surrey County in Georgia, past dark, you don't see my black butt there. I'm good. Okay. I'm out of here. hey, look. I'm no lie. In Forsyth County, Norfolk Fulton County, they still hang us up there. No lie, they do. I'm not telling you no BS. I'm telling you the truth.
Absolutely.
Yes. But yeah, we got coaches, new hires coming, reporters coming, comedians coming, bruh. We got stuff going, bro. For real. You got to come on the show, Vinny. You, Terry. You come on the show. You can come on the show and be unplugged. Talk about what you want to talk about. Yeah. And we can get it going, and yeah.
You had me on last year, man. For real, that's why I should have had you back on. I apologize again, man.
Brother, I feel you had to get Tony Delk on, Antoine Walker. I get it. You had to cover your big. I'm not part of the BB, part of the BBT, Big Blue Tigers. I get it. I understand it, brother. I get it.
Hey, man, BossmanShow.com. Everybody check it out. Look, we got
absolutely.
At Bossman Show on Twitter, at JR the Bossman on Twitter. We got it scrolling on our little Roku, so everybody that's watching,
check it out. The lower third is popping. I see the lower third is popping.
Man, appreciate you having on taking the time out of your eating, man, JR.
Yeah, we
No
appreciate
doubt.
you
Hey, I
coming
gotta go
on.
watch the Hawks play Thunder. Trey Young's homecoming against the Thunder.
Uh-oh, there we go.
Yeah, they are tanking bad. They're tanking very bad. Okay, see, watch what happens tonight, guys. Watch what happens for real.
Sure
All
will.
right.
We'll do, man.
I'll see y'all, brother. Y'all be easy, brothers.
Hey,
Thank you,
too,
sir.
JR.
Appreciate it.
All right, now.
He said, Boss Man. J.R. McHenry at JR the Boss Man, host of the Bossman Show. Go on there and check out all his interviews with, I believe, every coach in the tournament, like Jim Larinaga, Shaheen Holloway. Everybody that was just playing these past couple weekends is on there, and he's doing his thing. Like you said, he's been grinding a long time. He's been at it a long time, and
That's what it takes.
yeah, that's
Absolutely.
a good dude, man. Big personality, funny, authentic, real. He don't, he is who he is. He ain't gonna be phony with you. That's what you see, what you get with that dude, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Had a good time. Good interview. Had to talk about the slap though.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's like anything else. It's become overanalyzed, and but it's just killing me. The assault. And look, I get where Will was coming from. Somebody because like I said, he's got to go home with Jada. Now, all that stuff we said is true, and that's the thing too. An incident like that is not just ABC. There's a lot going on here. Was Chris Rock out of pocket? Yes. Was Will wrong for the slap? Yes. Was he laughing? He was. But laughing or not, when your woman gives you the look, you got to do something.
Yep.
Because you can't go home with her saying, "Why don't you do nothing?"
Yeah.
I would rather, and that's my thing. I would rather be wrong supporting my woman than right and have to hear her talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
Remember that time he's talking about me? You didn't even say nothing.
Mm-hmm. And it'll come up in the moment and way on down the road. It'll come up way on down the road and slap you like Chris Rock got slapped if you don't do nothing.
Right. Now, people try to make it, well, comedians, they got to be able to make jokes. Look, man, comedians just people. They're not out here telling truth to power. They're telling jokes. Where I was from, probably where you was raised, you can only be as funny as your hands will allow. Like, we've all had that moment. You've been telling your mama jokes and something hits too personal. The other person say that's enough. If they're nice enough to give you a warning,
Yeah.
and that next joke, you got to be ready to put up your hands.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of stuff at play. But the biggest thing is two rich guys got into it. That's all it is. It's not an indictment on black people. I've seen people. We saw what Will Smith was saying. That's what abusers say. What? How'd you get to that? Look, man. Again, I'm not trying to read into this relationship, but if Will was that type of dude, he would have whipped her when she said something about some entanglement. That's right. If he was that dude, right? He would have come out when she's writing love letters to Tupac. That's when it would have come out.
Mm-hmm.
He was just in a situation. He's like, what can I do to save face with my woman?
Yo.
So, like I said, there's a lot of wrong, there's a lot of right. We ain't got to do all this stuff that we're talking about. Well, what if? Well, it wasn't that.
Yeah.
It wasn't. Mm-hmm. And then all these celebrities, they traumatized. This slap it got them traumatized. And this is what I tweeted out yesterday too. Look, man, every week I've seen video of police, some law enforcement people shoot, kill an unarmed black person. Every week. Now we know Breonna Taylor's name. We know George Floyd. Like, that's trauma. Two celebrities slapping or one slapping the other, that's not traumatizing to me. Yeah. I'm old enough to remember when the Rodney King video was on repeat for years. That's traumatizing. This ain't nothing. And all these celebrities, oh, what are we going to do with the Oscars? Look, man, all I got to say is Y'all need to Google why Roman Polanski wasn't able to go pick up his last Oscar. Google it. This is the most disgraceful thing ever. More disgraceful than Hattie McDaniel, that they basically had to sneak in to win her Oscar for Gone with the Wind. That wasn't disgraceful. When the Oscars win 100 years and like 3 black people won, that's not disgraceful. All these dudes that have done way worse than smack another grown man, that wasn't disgraceful. Harvey Weinstein got like 80 Oscars, and that dude was way out of pocket, criminally. That's not disgraceful. So, miss me with that. We ain't got to be way out here on this one. This is just 2 grown men, both kind of in the wrong. All right, we move on from it.
Nope.
But like you said, when you see somebody walking up to you and they ain't saying nothing, you got to be ready to go.
Gotta know something coming.
Yeah.
Can't be surprised.
No,
can't be like, wow. I mean,
you're not gonna give you especially when you do like this. Come on now. You got to be like Nolan Ryan. You see somebody charge at you, you got to be ready to go.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that was the equivalent of Nolan Ryan letting Ventura just tackle him. If that's what Rock did, but Nolan was ready for it.
Right, you got to be ready to go.
Chris got caught slipping. So it is.
A lot of things broke down. They should have gone to commercial. Like they should have done a whole lot of things. It was just watching it in real time, and especially seeing the international feed that had the whole run up. It just look. This is the risk you take when you make fun of somebody while they're sitting there.
Yep.
That's the risk you take.
That's true.
Well, I'm a comedian. Does this mean if I'm doing a show? Yeah, hell yeah. If I'm sitting in the front row and you're like, oh, look at this dude with the glasses, and everybody look, okay, move on. Oh, he got that San Diego Padres hat on. Okay, move on. Okay. But yeah, that's the risk you take.
I was trying to, and we done had comedians on here. Roy Wood, Sinbad, Charles Moore, local comedians, big time comedians. We run the gamut with comedians. Michael Rudolph, you got Charles Moore that you went to see. I saw Michael tweeted out. He said a couple of days ago, it was something to the effect of, so I'm trying to scroll back and find it. He said, I haven't been slapped for any of my jokes, but there's times I deserved it. So he even kind of admitted that I went too far, and if I'd have got slapped, I would have deserved it.
And here is the difference that I've quote tweeted a lot of comedians, and because they're all boo-hooing in their tears about somehow they are truth tellers and all this. Be funny. Be funny. Because I'm tired of people like, oh, you couldn't make Blazing Saddles today. I love Blazing Saddles. It's a great film. Yes, they say the N-word in that film.
Sure do.
The difference is it is hilarious. They're not just saying the N-word to say it. They're not just talking about this group to say it. It's funny. You look at a movie like Airplane that offended everybody. Nobody was safe, right? But be funny. You can still push these envelopes as long as you're funny.
Yeah.
When it stops being funny, these comedians, and I'm speaking in generalities, they defended Louis C.K. with all that stuff. They defended Bill Cosby with all that stuff. They defended Kramer from Seinfeld when he was talking about a hard R. Like, they defended these people, and it's like every group defends each other. The police, whenever somebody crosses the line, they, sports writers, they won't admit that sometimes other sports writers ask stupid questions. That's just the way it goes. But comedian's not a protected class. Just because you're on stage telling some jokes, okay. You can still catch these hands.
Mm-hmm.
And, look, I was born and raised in the suburbs, right? But still, you can catch these hands. You and I can have an argument, and it can get to a point where, well, damn it, we might have to scrap it out. Now, it might, it may not get there, but there's a point with people you know, people you don't know, okay, it can cross that line. Violence is never the answer. Sometimes the hell it is. Sometimes it is. You know, people, you don't need to use cuss words. A well-timed, well-placed Sam Jackson keyword, it's unambiguous. And if you say it, it rolls off the tongue and people know what you're talking about. Right?
No.
So all this, I can't believe violence is the answer. Have you been in America? Have you been in America? This another man slapping a man, like what? Oh, America, like any given day in America, there's another mass shooting, and it doesn't even register. Like, what are you talking about? Like, we are past the point of somebody slapping somebody being what breaks down American society.
True.
I'm gonna get off my soapbox, but like all these things just kind of, what are we doing? It wasn't that big a deal. Somebody slapped somebody.
Yeah.
Shaq slapped Greg Oceantag down. I wish there was video of it because I only want to see another grown man slap another 7-foot grown man to the ground.
Yeah.
The only person I'm upset about is Chris Rock. You can't slap me. If you punch me, I'll be like, all right, I open up the envelope. But a slap, look, it ain't toxic masculinity. You can't slap me. Another man can't slap me like that.
No. You're right.
I would have been like, go to commercial, and now we got to fight. Like I told you last week, I had a boss. He liked to fuss and cuss. Well, I can fuss and cuss too. If we got to go fight out in the parking lot, we can do that. You may whip me, but we still need to fight.
Yeah.
There's just a point in time where violence isn't the answer. What are you talking about? Yes, it is. Sometimes it's the only answer. What am I going to tell my children? I'm gonna tell my children. You know what my youngest said? Did you see the genie from Aladdin slap the zebra from Madagascar?
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's what, I'm like, yeah, that's crazy.
That's it. That's what happened.
But people, I can't understand why Will would do it. Man, when your woman give you the look, sometimes I might have to take an L, but I ain't gonna take an L from her. I'm gonna take an L from you. I ain't gonna take an L from her. What if Mike Tyson said the joke? Well, then I'd rather take that Tyson than disappoint my woman. And I get it. It might be toxic. It might be old school thinking. But the way I was raised, anyway, we need to talk about some sports. We've given a lot of talk to the slap, which I guess since Will Smith played Ali, I guess he.
Yeah, Ali and Richard Williams, and so he had a lot of sports stuff in there. Real quick, and I'll hit this little promo video too for BS3 that's in here. That's something new we can put in for people watching. But my favorite, maybe I think, unless I'm forgetting, my favorite 2 lines, because I don't watch many movies, and I don't ever watch the Oscars, and probably never will, even after the slap. But, from Blazing Saddles, you mentioned that line where they making fun of Gene Wilder, and he said, "Look at that Alky. He can't even hold a gun, much less shoot it." That line always cracked me up. And then when Gabby Johnson walk up in the church and goes, "Rah, rah, rah," and he finishes up, and then that guy goes, "Now who can argue with that? Not only is it pure frontier gibberish."
And that's funny. And they driving off a car at the end, the farting scene. Where else you gonna see Alex Karras punch a horse?
Yeah,
like, come on, Mogo just a pawn. Like, come on, man. That's what I'm saying. Be funny. Like, you can push the envelope. But you're not just doing it just to do it. You're doing it in the service of being funny.
Mel Brooks, boy, man.
When he was at his peak, it wasn't anybody better.
Which you and I've been in and out of the podcast DM chat. They were talking about playing, us ever getting together to play ball. But somebody said something about I think JD said the other day, y'all, because I ain't been keeping up with all of it, just like you haven't
Oh
been.
yeah, it's a lot.
JD said, y'all been busy in here because it was nothing but this guy's in the portal, this guy might come to Kentucky, this defense with his
I
block
can't
rate.
do it.
And so Arizona Terry said, oh yeah, we're professionals, we're all about that work. So I hit him with the GIF from Blazing Saddles, where he's like, work. And then, so,
Look, we're to that point of the season where, with the transfer portal and recruiting, I can't do it. I don't have the bandwidth to check every name that comes in the portal. If you do, that's fine. That's just not my bag. Between now and I guess August, when the roster gets solidified, I got too much going on.
Mm-hmm.
And we've never been.
We know when they decide.
Yeah, and I can't worry. Is Cal going to figure it out? I believe so, but as we talked about last week, we got to make this work. He's not walking away from $42 million, and Kentucky's not going to shell out $42 million.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Kentucky, we bring in a lot of money, but you're not going to pay Cal $42 million to go away, and then have to put a contract out about $30 million to get a new top tier coach in. Ain't nobody's got 70, 75 million. Like, that's not going to be a legitimate thing. Now, we can debate whether or not that contract was right, but he earned that contract.
Yep. Both parties agreed to it.
Right. So that sometimes that's what happens when you're Kentucky. Maybe you overpay, but that's the way it is.
He had leverage because UCLA came calling, and they thought, well, we don't want to lose him to UCLA, and they both agreed to it. They didn't put a gun to his head and say, Cal, take this, and even though he had leverage, he didn't put a gun to Mitch's head and say, give me a lifetime contract, I'm going. It was mutual. I'm gonna put this little promo about BS3 in here for those that watch. Just a little quick video about all the good stuff that we're a part of in BS3 Networks. We'll hit that right quick because it's a nice new little bell and whistle up in here. So that just lets y'all get a little visual of what we've been talking about. We've been saying BS3 Network and put it on our show account and stuff like that. Now, y'all watching, y'all will see this in the middle of the broadcast. Culture, society, politics, marriage, spiritual, all kind of different types of podcast categories. Ben does one with his little girl. They were reviewing, was it Red, the Disney movie that's out? Ben and his daughter were doing that the other day. Ben's mom and dad do one every week together. They've been married 40-some years. Mr. and Mrs. Sutter got a podcast, so they got everything covered. Y'all can check out all the great podcasts that are on here with us, and it's a lot of good stuff, and we're just glad to be a part of it and appreciate BS3 Network. So nice little promo. It's well done. Its production value is great. I mean, all the great stuff. It's polished and everything. So, man, look, I don't watch the Oscars. I don't even know who Eric Church is. He's a country singer. I don't know. I can't name one song of his, but he's in the news because he's from North Carolina, and he canceled a concert because he's going to go watch North Carolina play Duke in the Final Four. So if it was 10 years ago, and TB is a comedian, we always think we're funny and talk about we comedians and stuff. Would you cancel a show to go to New Orleans and watch Kentucky and Louisville in that Final Four, TB, if you was in Eric Church's position?
Yeah, and I gotta disagree with the national folks. They're doing a lot of Duke, North Carolina, and the first time they're meeting in the tournament and blah 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 blah. I get it, it's a big deal. But man, look, I was in Louisville, Kentucky when Kentucky and Louisville played and get ready to play in the Final Four. And the you could feel the stress in the air just among the fans. Like I get it. ESPN tells us Duke, North Carolina, best rivalry. But man, that week when it went from was it I think it was Baylor we beat in the Elite Eight. Like, oh, we beat them, but now we got to play Louisville. And once that settled in that Monday, there was a rough week. And again, remember the old dudes got into a fist fight at the dialysis center.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm not saying I agree with it, but you can't just dismiss that. Like, but to answer your question, absolutely. If I was a celebrity, I mean, why wouldn't you, parachute in? We've had Ashley Judd show up. I know folks have maybe fallen out of favor, but she was a Hollywood star. In a lot of blockbuster movies, and she famously once said somebody tried to offer her, I think it was a North Carolina jacket when she was on set. And she said, I'd rather shiver to death or catch cold or whatever. So yeah, absolutely, I would. My management team probably wouldn't like it, but yeah, I wouldn't even schedule anything the month of March.
Right, yeah. You just make sure you're clear. You wouldn't even.
Yeah, I would
at all.
Yeah, I would do like I kind of already do anyway. Especially that first Thursday and Friday. I'm out, not doing nothing but watching these games. Absolutely, you got pulled like that. Yeah, I'd show up for the game. Yeah, as fans like, oh, we mad. Well, be mad. But yeah, I would do that. To answer your question long-windedly, yes.
Yeah. I figured that was, that was a hot topic because I don't blame him. And they've never met in the tournament period, and it is the Final Four. He's from right there, close to Hickory. That ain't but a hop and a jump from here. I do the same thing as him too. And I was thinking the same thing as you. Man, we have to keep that March schedule clear. I ain't doing no dates right now. Or, if I'm doing something, it's gonna be on a Tuesday and a Wednesday. It could be midweek. But these weekends in March is just clear my calendar.
Absolutely. I mean, yeah. I would do it. If my Niners were in the Super Bowl or NFC Championship game, absolutely. My Lakers, once they stop being old and they back, yeah. Why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Life is short. Would you have gone to, if you could, gone to see the Braves in the World Series? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Except for the birth of my child, yeah. Even if the child was doing something, well, you got to understand. You got to understand. Daddy's got to do this real quick. But yeah, I got no problem with that.
Yeah.
But the Final Four, look, Kentucky fans getting all bent out of shape. I know Duke, North Carolina, Kansas. Kansas, has now got more wins. Look, you can't be. Here's my only thing about that. You can't say the only thing that matters is March, and then say, well, Kansas got all the wins. Because I tweeted this out, as I often do, no outcome changes where Kentucky is. Kentucky's got 8. Nobody can get to 8. Right?
Right.
Nobody can get to 8 championships.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody's moved. Now, if somebody was going in with 7, okay. I'll be like, that team can't win.
Uh-huh.
But Kansas, for all that success, only got 3.
That's
I think we need to have that conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Because Kansas, when you look at Kansas' roster of players they've had, from Wilt freaking Chamberlain coming forward, 3 seems low.
Mm-hmm. 57, 88, and 08. That's it, right?
Yeah. And so for me, even North Carolina, what are they up to? 6, 5, 6? I don't even know. It ain't 8, so whatever. But my point is, all those North Carolina dudes, come on now. Because when you look at Kentucky's had a lot of talent here under Cal. I get that. But historically, we've had really good players. But we ain't had no world beating dudes. Like we talked about, I think last week before. Dean Smith had junior Michael Jordan and 3 other NBA players, and they didn't make the Final Four. Let's have that conversation. It wasn't just like all of them left after 82. Let's have that conversation.
Yeah.
So again, everything people are coming up with against Cal, that's just the nature of the business. Every coach has a team that's just like, how'd this team not win? And when people say, oh, we only got the one championship, like 4 Final Fours in 5 seasons is remarkably good with roster turnover every year.
Yeah.
Like that, your man Seth Davis, who we talked about with JR, this tweet, let me find it because it's one of those things you got to be messing with us, right? He said, let me find this tweet. Duke's starting lineup includes 3 one-and-done freshmen and 2 sophomores. Does this mean the narrative you can't win with one-and-dones needs to be altered?
What? 3 freshmen and 2 sophomores?
3 one-and-done freshmen and 2 sophomores. I submit to you that in 2012, we had 3 one-and-dones and 2 sophomores. And look at the other teams. Granted, 2015 was a little bit older because you had junior Willie Cauley-Stein, but look at that. And so again, the biggest flip that has ever flipped on the Calipari narrative was everyone was convinced you can't win with freshmen. That was the conventional wisdom. No matter how good the freshmen are, you can't win with a team led by a lot of freshmen. And then all of a sudden it flipped to why didn't Cal win more with the freshmen that you said he couldn't win with? And I understand if you want to make those arguments either way, again, I always say if Cal was able to get the dream season in 2014 and get the miracle season in 2015, we're having different discussions.
Right. Yep.
It would make everybody feel better if he had one more. But getting to 1 is hard.
Yeah.
So getting to 2 is also hard. But and we're seeing teams that have great runs, just you run out of steam.
Yep.
Teams turn it on. Like the nature of the tournament is you're going to get some of this. But the biggest con is that the tournament is random, right? We like Cinderella up to a point. When you've got 5 schools that get over half of the championships, it's not as random as you think.
Yeah.
When you got UCLA, Kentucky, North Carolina, Indiana, Duke, and they've got 30 or whatever the number is. You got like 6 schools. You throw in UConn. You got 6 or 7 schools that got over half the championships. It's not that random.
That's true.
Teams are good year after year after year.
And your perspective is good as far as nobody's going to catch Kentucky, even though it's sucks seeing all these other brands in there. But I'm still on the anybody but Duke. I just don't want to see him go out right off into the sunset.
I'm rooting for Carolina on Saturday.
Yeah.
Because if you've already ruined his last home game. But if you are part of the Carolina team, no matter what happens on Monday, but if you're the Carolina team that ends Coach K's career with a loss, there's nothing better.
Yeah.
I did tell some of my because I got involved with a lot of these Duke fans because we did that show before the season.
Oh, that's
But
right.
I told them, I said, look, there's nothing like beating your blood rival in the Final Four. Like I enjoyed the 2014 game when it came in the Sweet 16, the start of Aaron Harrison, or 2014 start of Aaron Harrison's heroics. But beating your team in the final, beating your rival in the Final Four, ain't nothing better than that. Because it's everybody's watching, right? It's
ends their season.
Season. I'll tell you what, there was my least enjoyable Kentucky win ever. Because when Louisville tied it in the second half, I was like, no, this can't be how this goes.
In 2014?
In 2012.
Okay.
But they tied in the second half. It's like, okay, this can't be how this can't be how it goes. But winning a championship, ending Indiana's season, ending Louisville's season on route to a championship. Oh yeah. That's great.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Like that's fantastic. That's a feather in your cap. So if anything, I'm rooting for North Carolina.
Yep.
The second game, I don't know. I mean, I might watch it, I might not, but if people, oh, can you believe, these teams that we beat real bad are in the Final Four? Sometimes that's what happens. Like sometimes the team you boat race, the way the playoffs, the way it's set up like that. I don't know. Again, we've had some teams where if you look back, some other teams like that Kentucky team wasn't even very good.
Yep.
That team made the Final Four. That team, like, look, I love the '98 team, but let's be honest, that team ain't got the Q rating of. It just doesn't. Like everybody remembers Cameron Mill's shot, great, but that team just has no Q rating. When we're talking about the best Kentucky teams ever, the '98 team doesn't get mentioned. 2015, 2010, those teams do, but the '98 team doesn't get mentioned.
Yeah, just don't have the
doesn't have
power, the flamboyance, the flair. Just
and the reason
they were behind every game, had to come back. They wasn't just they just had to gut their way and grit their way to it. It's just
and what hurts that team is they beat teams that aren't good anymore in the Final Four. If you change the names around from Stanford and Utah, because that college basketball account that tweets out all the highlights from the '90s and everything, and you're like, "Whoa, Stanford!" It's like Stanford '97 against somebody. Stanford was number 4 or whatever. Like even though I was here, it's like Stanford had a pretty good run. Utah had a pretty good run, but today it's like there's no juice.
Yeah.
At least with '96, you beat Syracuse. Okay. You beat UMass that year. That has a little bit more juice. But '98, there's no juice. 2012, you beat Kansas. Probably the biggest name we've beaten a title game.
Yeah, because Duke in '78 wasn't the Duke they are now.
Yeah, Duke wasn't Duke in '78. In '58, was that Baylor? Whatever. Anyway,
San Francisco.
Okay, so that's going back. So I don't know. But like I said, that whole thing, I can't keep up with who's in the portal, who's coming, who's going, what's this kid gonna do. I just don't have the bandwidth for that. Now some people do. That's fine, but that's never been my bag.
Yeah,
I'll be ready to root for whoever comes out there. That's my job as a fan. As the fan, I don't know.
Gotta send out condolences. Former UK D lineman Jerry Bell passed away Monday. Looked it up. We had them on the show. It was March of 2017.
Oh wow!
Long time girlfriend, fiance Dawn Felty. It was Dawn. Jerry, and Freddie Maggett all came on with us. We weren't on Roku then. They were just calling in on the line. Dawn is just a super lady. They were together forever. Jerry was from Louisville, like yourself, went to DeSales.
DeSales, yeah. DeSales is one of those schools that gets overlooked. It's not Trinity, it's not St. X, it's in the western part of the city. And it's one of those, it's a private school that gets overlooked. So, yeah, just throwing that out there. But just a terrible loss when I saw the news, and I knew, we'd have them on, and it was good to see pictures of him at practices, at games. Still stayed connected to the team. So yeah, definitely condolences to the Kentucky football family.
Yeah, because he had suffered injury and he wasn't able to speak for many, many years. So when Don was on there, Freddie was on there, they were telling stories. I took the boys to either a football game or a blue-white game, one or the other, I can't remember. But got to meet him, got to meet Don, got to see him. And even though he couldn't speak, you could just tell the dude's personality was huge. You could still just see how much personality he had just in his eyes, his facial expressions he would make. You see, former players always coming back, like you said, taking pictures with him. And so, yeah, just definitely feel for Don and feel for Freddie. Him and Freddie were roommates at Kentucky when they were playing down there together. So,
yeah. And your man, Emmitt Smith, has famously said the biggest hit that he took, at least in his collegiate career, was from Jerry Bell.
Got blown up by Jerry Bell.
So definitely condolences to a Kentucky football legend. That's why I always stress with folks. I am thrilled with what Coach Stoops is doing right now. 2 10-win seasons in 4 years, and sending dudes to the league and all that kind of stuff. But Kentucky football has had great players and great coaches. Now the wins and losses have not been what we want them to be or wanted them to be. But we've had really, really good players, really, really good people that laid the foundation that Stoops has built this house on, and he acknowledges that. So, and Jerry Bell is one of those.
Yeah, for sure. So, thoughts are definitely with Dawn and the entire family for sure. So, definitely want to mention that. Gets on quick on softball and baseball. The baseball, they beat TCU a while back, a ranked team, get an SEC play, go to Arkansas and get swept. You're like, uh-oh. And then they get Georgia at home this past weekend and drop the first game. So now they're 0-4 in the SEC. Like, uh-oh.
Yeah, here we go again. I got you.
They bounce back and win the last two and win the series against Georgia. So you're like, all right, cool. They needed that because they were looking at 0-6 and now they're 2-4. They followed that up and lost to EKU last night. I hated to see that. Now I'm like, keep that momentum going and handle business against EKU, and then Ole Miss or somebody comes in. That's not your South Carolina or Vanderbilt. That's probably one that's a winnable series for Kentucky. But you stub your toe against EKU. So I hated to see that. Softball team lost to Ohio State. They're still doing good, but I just, maybe they bounce back and sweep Ole Miss, and we'll forget about this EKU loss. But we just hope they have a good season. We just want to see them have a good season, hopefully.
And men's tennis is number 10 in the country. I didn't even know that. I was scrolling the timeline, and Andy Katz tweeted that out.
Andy Katz.
Yeah, well, he's working with the NCAA, and he sent out the college top 25, and I was like, oh, Kentucky men's tennis top 25. So okay,
say, yeah.
And that's my thing too. Everybody's ready to move on to football, but my thing is you're going to miss a lot of good Kentucky sports if you just turn your attention to football. Like, you can do what you want, right? I'm not trying to tell people how to fan,
right?
But I try to be all cats everything, and keep up with cats doing stuff across the board because they're all representing us as the Big Blue Nation. So
that's it.
that's my
And
the same way I'm representing the Lakers. I'm still.
I respect it. I respect it. I don't agree with it, but I respect it.
And when you say you don't like the Lakers or the Fakers, whatever y'all was kikiing about earlier, please say this, that you don't like the 17-time NBA champion Los Angeles Lakers.
Don't like them. Don't like the 17-time champion Los Angeles Lakers.
Because sometimes I'll be like, I don't like is it 1 or 2 that the Rockets won? I can't even remember.
Yeah.
I can't even remember, Is it 2? It's 2, right?
It is.
Oh, they did go back to back. That's cute. That's cute. It's not a three-peat, but it's good.
2/3 of the way to one, yeah. You're blinded by all those titles you got to CR2. I got it.
I'm just gonna be petty. Because that, and like I said, the young Lakers fans, that for them, the Shaq and Kobe three-peat, for them is like when they grew up, look, man. Sometimes there's a down period.
That's true. And last thing, real quick too. A lot of people kind of getting worked up, been out of shape. We're seeing a lot of transfers from the Kentucky women's basketball team. We saw Dre Edwards, we saw Jasmine Massengale, we saw Treasure Hunt, and then Olivia Owens made 4. Had Cameron Drummond on Believe in Kentucky, for her leader, covered the women's team. It's still just her second year as a coach, her first full off-season and season as a head coach. Everybody wanted to kick dirt on her, and then they up and win the SEC tournament for the first time in 4 decades, for the first time since Valerie Steele was over there. That's, we were 4 years old last time Kentucky won the SEC tournament. So, and I still argue, I guess I do argue, Matthew Mitchell went through a rough patch. Things were going good. He had a rough patch, and people were leaving, and everybody like, what's going on? What's happening? He was able to turn it back around. He was a lot more experienced as a head coach when he went through it than Kyra Elzy is. He been around a long time, and it still happened to him.
It's a concern. I mean, you can't have folks leaving and it not be a concern, but by the same token, you got to give her some benefit of the doubt. I think she's earned that by that run she went on. So, it's tough on the outside looking in because you don't know the inner workings of the team.
Right.
It could be very well they assembled a team through things like the transfer portal and, get Blair Green back and get some other of the young ladies healthy and see what happens. Mm-hmm. Is it something you can build on moving forward? We've seen coaches on the men's and women's side of all sports. The first year or two, there is a cleaning house kind of thing. That just happens. You look at what's going on at LSU basketball. Everybody's leaving, right? Mm-hmm. Sometimes that's to be expected. So I'm going to withhold judgment. I'm not going to pretend to be an expert on that. But yeah, it's one of those things like, okay, we did have the success. Where's everybody going? But who knows?
And then on the flip side, we've had, I don't know every single person's thoughts as far as players and their families go, but we've had Cassidy Rowe and her dad on here multiple times, and they even with the coaching change, she originally committed to play for Coach Mitchell, and now Kyra Elzy is the head coach, and they are all about some Kyra Elzy. We love her. She came to the house. We can't wait. She's going to get some discipline and instill her culture, and we can't wait to go down there and play for her. And when her season ended, Lonnie, her dad, that was his last game he coached too. He's not coaching anymore. I guess he's going to be able to be a dad and be a fan and watch her play. She was the player of the year in the 15th region, was a finalist for Miss Basketball, had an amazing career. So anxious to see what she does, excited to see what she does at Kentucky. And they have no reservations, regardless, everything's going on, they're still all in. So you hear that and you're like, well, like you said, give her benefit of the doubt. she works for an AD who has always leaned on the side of being patient. We've seen that with Mark Stoops. We've seen that with Nick Mingione. And we've probably seen that with whatever she's got going on. And if she's needing to weed stuff out or, instill her culture. Dre Edwards hit the shot to beat South Carolina, but she's been suspended a couple times already. Ryan Howard got suspended. So, it's, give her time and give her legs under and set up shop the way she wants and all that. So, not saying that she's going to relax because she knows that Mitch is probably patient, but that's probably, good to know that, hey, this dude is pretty level-headed. He's not going to give me this quick hook if I have one bad season, because that's not really how Mitch rolls from what we've seen.
And I'm sure they're having discussions internally, and if my thing is about Mitch, I know fans or whatever. He's got a pretty good track record. Like everybody always tries to bring up the two kind of big misses that he had, but not the wins across the board. So when it comes to coaching hires, so you got to have a little bit of faith that he knows what he's doing. So,
Absolutely. Well, man, we done have fun. Glad you got to come back home, check off all those boxes, introduce your lovely wife to Louisville, and have her push you into the second spot because she got the cobbler and she got the green.
She got all that stuff. Absolutely, man.
We're glad you had a good trip. Always good to get back home. Glad you got to see Mama B and all the family and get out and about the city. We'll peep at the Final Four a little bit. Maybe we will, maybe we won't. We'll see this time next week who the new champion is. NBA playoffs be heating up. We love that. Even if I know my team ain't gonna be there, yours might not be there. We'll see.
Yeah, they're talking about bringing Anthony Davis back. At this point, why? Just ride it out. But I just don't think the fans gonna be ready for a rebuild. Like you can't do this again. Not in LA. Not in LA. You got to give them something. So we'll see. But I'm still gonna root, baby.
There you go. Got to. Man, been a lot of fun. Y'all, look, follow us on social media. We got them scrolling across the screen at Vinny Hardy, at T-Brown_80, at Cats Talk WED on Facebook and Twitter. Check out La Terrain Watches and playactionpools.com. Huge thanks to Gatorade for quenching our thirst during the show. And see, man.
We even got protein bars that I snack on after my workouts. It refuels, like I said, it's good, it's tasty, it's healthy, and I always wash it down.
We appreciate you, Gatorade.
With Gatorade.
Appreciate it. Thanks again.
I've been doing that forever and ever. Before, before they said they'd help us out.
Before they showed love, you was already doing it. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I need during my runs, man. I ran for the first time after traveling yesterday. I said, ooh. My knees are like, you sure about this? I said, we gonna make it. So today, I wake up moving like Fred Sanford some days, but
you're back in that routine. I got to do that. So yeah, and if anybody else would like to advertise on the show, feel free to reach out to us. We played the promo. You can call BS3 Network or just holler at Terry and myself, and we'd love to promote your business or product just like we do Gatorade and La Terrain Watches and Play Action Pools. And so definitely keep that in mind. Appreciate everybody who listens. Appreciate everybody who watches. Thanks again to the homie J.R. McHenry, J.R. the Boss Man at Bossman Show. Go and check out everybody he's talked to and all the interviews he's done. And Chibi, we got another bell and whistle. We got a cool another little outro in addition to the intro. So
all right,
we'll have a little fun. I'll play us out. We'll see everybody next week.
Yes, sir.